rough, we ain't gonna hide. Poppin' till it's swollen, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Amadaya production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Poppin' till it's swollen, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Poppin' till it's swollen, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams.
All right, that stopped sooner than I expected. She wasn't ready. Okay, so grand rising, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Amadaya Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Amadaya Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. Excuse me. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get into it. Now let's see who's in here. All right, let me put on my spectacles, honey. All right. So hello, Panther Strike. Pearly is here. Nessa G is in the house. Joy, Darnell, Reggie is here. All right, Most Hated Bronze Flat Power God, Auntie Leah. Hell Y'all TV is here. All right. So let's get into it. I see Desmond is here. Most Hated Bronze Flat Power God. Excuse me, I have something in my throat. Okay, so hey, Alice. Claudette's in the house. Stacy. Okay, so Shelby is here. All right. Okay, so let's get into it. Everybody hit the like button. Let's get it started. Before we get into the nefariousness of it all, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tries. But everybody be sure to hit that like button. And if you have not been receiving the notifications, please do yourself a favor and double check to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. And if you have been unsubscribed and have to resubscribe, then you have to reset your notifications. Okay. Hey, Khalid. Okay, so let's get into it. A word from my sponsor, and then we're off. All right, here we go. All right.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, and don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes oil for your hair at Etsy.com. Okay, just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. Hey, Antoinette. All right, so with that all being said, it looks like Fonnie Willis is trying to lock up all the rappers in Atlanta. Okay, I'm not even joking. Hold on, who is this? Hold on, 1 second. 1 second. Okay, they hung up. My phone is on. Does anybody else have this problem? My phone is literally on Do Not Disturb, but for some reason, it still rings sometimes. Okay, so anyway, sorry for the interruption. Now, with that all being said, let's get into it. But first, we're going to talk about Scooter. Okay, young Scooter lost his life because of this woman right here. She made a false 911 call. Okay, and I'm sorry, but this doesn't even look like the same person to me. Okay, doesn't even look like the same person. All right, makeup is the devil. That's what they said. Atlanta police have arrested a 31-year-old woman whose alleged false 911 call led to the death of rapper Young Scooter. Okay, so we're going to get into it because, you know, there's been some discrepancies. Some people are saying that he was shot by the police, and then the police were saying that he wasn't shot, that he injured himself when he tried to jump a fence or something. Okay, so let's get into it. Did Young Scooter get shot? Preliminary autopsy report released. So, preliminary autopsy results indicate that Kenneth Bailey, known as Young Scooter, died from a thigh injury caused by a wooden fence. Okay, wooden fencing material leading to significant blood loss, not a gunshot wound. Okay, so they're saying that he must have scraped his leg or his thigh on the fence. And, you know, they're saying that basically he had all this blood loss because it nicked the artery. Okay, that's what they're saying. Now, Dr. Cecil Bennett explains that leg injuries affecting major arteries like the femoral artery can be fatal due to rapid blood loss, exacerbated by high heart rates during physical exertion. I don't know. That may be true. It may not. You know, some of these medical examiners will lie and cover up for the police. You all do know that, right? I'm not saying that this one did, but that is the case in some instances. Now, the Atlanta Police Department clarified that the officers did not use firearms or force against Bailey, countering social media claims of a shooting while investigations into the incident continue. Well, I'd still like to see the body cam footage just to be on the safe side. How about y'all? I would like to see the body cam footage, okay, so we can make sure that this man wasn't shot. That's what I'd like to see. Okay? That's what I'd like to see. But anyway, so they go on to say the preliminary autopsy results for Kenneth Edward Rashad Bailey, better known by his stage name Young Scooter, show that he was not shot. Now, police, they say, here's the backstory. Hold on, I skipped over something. Hold on just a second. Okay, these pop-ups. Okay, here's what they say. Bailey died on Friday after running from police. Okay, after running from police officers who were responding to a report of a violent attack on a woman in the 200 block of William Nye Drive. Now, this woman who called was lying, apparently. Okay, so here's the backstory. Police were dispatched to the 200 block of William Nye Drive in southeast Atlanta on Friday evening after reports of gunfire and a woman being dragged into a residence. Now, when officers knocked on the door, a man opened it and then immediately shut it. So police surrounded the home as two people fled out. Okay, they fled from it. Now, one of them returned to the house while the other jumped two fences before being injured. Okay, he was found injured nearby. He was rushed to Grady Memorial Hospital where he later died. Bailey, who was later identified as the second man, who ran. Okay, you know what I find interesting about this? I'm not going to believe this at all until I see proof. Because here's the thing. We already know. Hell y'all TV said, but why did he run though? I'm sorry. Who doesn't run from the police that looks like me? Most people that look like us run from the police. Now, that may be a mistake, but I would say that fear is why they ran. Fear. Okay? Fear. That's why they ran, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know. Hold on one second, beloveds. Hold on just a second. I'm sorry. Hold on for a second. Let me give you all an intermission real quick. Okay? Just a brief intermission.
Light shining down in the moonlight, but I can't help but feel this connection flow with every move. Go along the floor where you smile. Makes me want more. Heartbeat and sing. At the sound of soul, tonight we dance. Just lose control. I can't resist. The way you move is in a bliss. Your eyes daisy hum. Like the stars above, this night is ours. Wrapped in our love, but badness flame. Our melody sweet, can't help but feel the rhythm in my feet. Even like that. Like the rock is spinning. Our love's a dance where we both live. You got that groove.
All right, sorry people. All right, the queen's in high demand apparently. Okay, now let me just double check and make sure that this do not disturb is on, because I don't know why this phone keeps ringing. Hold on, beloveds. I know this is also ghetto. Hold on. Yeah, it's actually on. I don't know why the phone keeps ringing. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Okay, so anyway, with that all been said, let's get back to the business. All right, so here's what they say. They say, how did Scooter die? Now, here's the thing. Like I was saying, my thing is, we know that the police will shoot somebody who looks like me in a minute, specifically if you're running. So you all mean to tell me the police just let them run? They didn't chase them? Okay. Dr. Van Van said, is that the queen? Yes, it's the queen, beloved. Okay, so you mean to tell me they just let them run and they didn't, shoot at them as they fled? Already being told that it was a violent attack on a woman and that somebody was dragged into a house and then they opened the door, shut it, and run. What do you all think? Okay. Antoinette says, sounds like that woman said shoot her up. Well, she did. That's why she's now been arrested. Okay. But at the end of the day, this sounds a little sketchy to me. It's easy to say that he cut himself on a fence. Okay. And that's easy to say. Now, I'm not saying they're lying, but I just have questions. Okay. So anyway, with that all been said, here's what they're saying. How did Scooter die? The Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office performed an autopsy on Bailey on Saturday. Now, it was determined that Bailey suffered an injury to the right thigh, which created marked blood loss. The preliminary report reiterates that this injury was not a gunshot wound. Bailey injured himself on organic wooden fencing material and or woody debris after vaulting at least one fence, according to the report. Now, they say the injury was to his femur. What they're saying, Dr. Cecil Bennett of Newman Family Medicine said that leg injuries can quickly become fatal if they impact major arteries. Well, we know that, specifically the femoral artery. Now, one can bleed out in seconds from a laceration to a femoral artery, he says. Okay, the femoral artery is under pressure, which means that once it's cut, it's not just a matter of bleeding, but there's a pulse. So there's an increased loss of blood because of the pulse of the femoral artery. So meaning that every time you take a breath, every time your heart pumps, blood's going to spurt out, just like your aorta. Okay, just like if someone gets cut in their aorta, every time they breathe, huge amounts of blood are going to squirt out. So that's what they're saying. Now, the question is, do we believe that? Because I don't. I don't believe that. He may have been shot in the femoral artery for all we know. I just need to see the proof. And if they have, see, here's the thing. If this is all true, why haven't they come out and offered the body cam footage? Why haven't they come out and said, well, here's the body cam footage so we can prove and verify? I don't believe them because they haven't offered up the footage. Maybe they will at some point, but usually I want you all to pay attention because we've been covering these type of stories forever. When the police are in the right, they have no problem bringing forth the body cam footage. You all know that. Okay, when the police, when they know that they haven't done anything wrong, when they're in the clear, they have no issue bringing forth the body cam footage. That's one of the first things they do when they're in the clear. Okay, so then goes on to say a high heart rate makes things worse. And that's true because, like I said, every time the heart pumps, blood's going to spew. Okay, so anyway, Atlanta police on young Scooter's death. Now, here's the other side. The Atlanta Police Department issued a statement in response to the release of the preliminary autopsy report. Hundreds of thousands of social media posts surfaced following Bailey's death, insinuating that he was killed in a shooting with officers. Now, the Atlanta Police Department is aware of inaccurate comments and social media posts regarding the death of Kenneth Bailey. While we understand that many people are saddened by his passing, it is important to recognize that Atlanta police officers neither discharged their firearms nor used any force against Mr. Bailey. The Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office issued the following press report regarding their findings. They say that there was Atlanta police continued investigating the 911 call and the circumstances leading to Scooter's fatal injury. Police have not said if they ever located the purported victim. Now, the release of the full autopsy report could take several months, they say. So, like I said, they don't say anything about body cam footage. They don't say anything about that, which lets me think that it's something more to this. Stop the Violence said, I think she's already out on bail. Well, I'm sure she is. Witty T said he passed on his birthday. That's absolutely awful. Panther Strike said, Queen, was there any relationship between the two? You know, I don't know. I don't know if there was a relationship between them or not. I just know that this woman supposedly lied on him and now she's been arrested. Hold on, beloveds. Okay, so let's get into that because here's what they're saying. I'm going to go to this news report. There's two news reports. Okay, I'm going to go to the first one. Like I said, she looks a hot mess without that makeup on. That doesn't even look like the same person to me. I thought maybe someone was trolling. Okay.
911 call that ultimately led to the death of Atlanta rapper young Scooter was not telling the truth. We first let you hear that call yesterday at noon, and that caller has since been arrested. Atlanta News 1st Sarah Hammond is live at the Fulton County Jail with what we know about this. Sarah, fill us in here.
Well, 31-year-old Demetria Spence waived her first appearance here at the Fulton County Jail just a little while ago. Her bond was set for $7,500. She would not be able to go back to the scene of the crime, speak to any witnesses, and she also would not be allowed to have any weapons. Now, again, she is accused of making a false 911 call. Here's how that all unfolded. March 28th, a woman calls 911 telling dispatchers shots were fired at a home on William Nye Drive in Atlanta, and she saw some kind of domestic dispute.
There is literally a whole domestic dispute going on. This girl doesn't have on any clothes. They threw her outside. He was fighting the girl. He literally fought the girl. I'm not sure what they was fighting over, if they was fighting over drugs. That's what it sounded like.
Atlanta police responded and said they saw no evidence of what the woman on the phone described. But they did say that once they arrived, Kenneth Bailey, better known as rapper Young Scooter, ran out of the back of the house and severely injured his leg. The medical examiner said Bailey lost a lot of blood from the injury and died at the hospital.
It appears that there was, when he fell, some type of fracture injury to the leg, which caused the bleeding.
Now, less than a week later, police say they've arrested 31-year-old Demetria Spence, the woman who called 911 for transmitting a false public alarm. She was booked at the Fulton County Jail. In a statement, Bailey's family says they are still waiting on more information surrounding his death and say they are devastated. Atlanta police reiterated that they never fired their weapons and Bailey's death was ruled an accident. Live at the Fulton County Jail, Sarah Hammond for Atlanta News First. All right.
I don't believe them. At the end of the day, I don't believe them because for the simple fact that, like I told you all, they always show the body cam when they know that they're in the clear. Okay. And the fact that they're not even mentioning that and just trying so desperately to convince us that, oh, this is what happened. Yeah, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it at the end of the day. And then here's the thing. Didn't they say they were told that there were gunshots fired? Didn't they say that? I can't remember. I'm going to have to go back and look. But I find that all very interesting at the end of the day. I don't believe them. And she, Karen, that's what she is. Because why did she tell that lie? Now, here's the thing. Now, come to think of it, when someone said, why would they run? Okay, so Panther Strike put in the chat that the woman's boyfriend usually, I think it was Panther Strike, that said the woman's boyfriend would usually be at that house, and there supposedly are often a lot of women there. Now, was this some sort of trap house? I'm wondering if this was a trap house, maybe that's why they ran. And if her boyfriend is usually there and there's a lot of women there, maybe she called the police so the police would just come there and disrupt things or make everybody come up out of the house or whatever so she could find out who's in there. I don't know. Okay, Hey Y'all TV says shooter or a scooter was loved in ATL. The streets might get her, Queen. Please keep us updated. Oh, I will. Yeah, she needs to watch her back. That's exactly what I was thinking. Okay, Winnie T said, Queen, these women wear too much makeup these days. Okay, yeah, she really doesn't look like the same person. And then she sat there and lied to that man. Now he's going. Okay, anyway, moving right along. Let's go to the next story. Because like I said, Fonnie Willis is trying to put young Thug, back in jail. Okay, she's already filed a motion to do so, to revoke his probation. We're going to get into it. I have the documents. And here's what they're saying. Oh, but hold on. I'm sorry. I forgot that Young Scooter's family spoke about it. Okay, they spoke out. Young Scooter's death. Suspected 911 caller arrested. Family issues a statement. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share my screen. Lights up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
News in Atlanta, police say the 911 call that led to the death of rapper Young Scooter was a lie. Police arrested the woman who made that 911 call earlier tonight.
Fox 5's Tom Haynes joins us with the details. Tom, what are we finding out?
Well, startling development considering the context of that call, Courtney and Russ. Atlanta police officers say that took the 31-year-old Demetria Spence into custody within the last few hours. Investigators now say that 911 call led to the death of 39-year-old rapper Young Scooter. This all started Friday in southeast Atlanta, where investigators say Spence told 911 operators there was something seriously wrong at a home on William Nye Drive. In audio obtained by Fox 5, Spence claims a woman with a child was bleeding and shots were fired.
I think you guys should get here quick because this girl he's really hitting her, and it's a child involved. This girl doesn't have on any clothes. They threw her outside. He was fighting the girl.
Police now say Spence made that call from a 911 only phone, and it was a lie. When officers got to the home, they say the two men ran out the back door. One of those men was rapper Young Scooter, whose real name is Kenneth Bailey. Police say Bailey injured himself jumping over a fence, and today the medical examiner ruled Bailey died from a penetrating injury to his right thigh. They say that his death was accidental. APD has stressed that social media posts claim Bailey was shot by officers. Well, that's false. The department has insisted no officers fired their weapons at the scene. Demetria Spence is now charged with transmitting a false public alarm. She's being held in the Fulton County Jail. Meantime, APD has not provided a motive for that call. But in the aftermath of what happened after that call was placed, someone wound up losing their life.
Yeah, a surprising turn of events with this situation. Tom, thanks.
Sure.
Thanks, Tom. For more on Young Scooter's death, head to fox5atlanta.com.
Okay, well, I thought his family spoke. Hold on just a second. This says that the family issued a statement. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Okay, here's what the family said. I thought they were going to be on the news, but here is the statement. Okay, what they're saying is Young Scooter's family issued the following statement through their publicist. They say, we're completely devastated by the loss of Kenneth Young Scooter Bailey and are currently still waiting for more information to understand the circumstance. Young Scooter was more than just a hip-hop artist. He was a phenomenal father and mentor to a lot of Atlanta youth pursuing both sports and music. Scooter was their advocate and support system. He always encouraged his children and the youth to pursue their dreams no matter what. The family is grateful for the outpouring of support and love from the city and all over the country. At this time, they're requesting privacy and prayers as they grieve and wait for answers. And then they say, what's next for Demetria Spence? I guess that's the woman. What we don't know. Police have not given a reason why she called 911. It was not immediately clear if she had retained legal representation or when her next court appearance is. So she's going to have to live with that for the rest of her life with her stupid self. Why would you do something like that? Okay, just lying on somebody, and now this man is dead. It's really a darn shame. It absolutely is. Okay, so now let's talk about Young Thug. Young Thug could lose his probation deal. Okay. So prosecutors allege that Young Thug violated probation terms by amplifying social media posts targeting a key law enforcement witness, leading to threats against the witness and public officials. Now, the state of Georgia has filed a motion to revoke Thug's probation, citing his actions as a threat to public safety and the integrity of the judicial system. Prosecutors request immediate custody of Young Thug and reimbursement for additional security measures, emphasizing the need for swift action to prevent further intimidation and harassment. Okay, now, I don't know how you all feel about this, but I think it sounds crazy. Okay, at the end of the day, that they're saying that he is the cause for threats and all of this stuff or whatever. His fans threatening this person, is that supposed to be his fault? He's supposed to be held accountable to that? No, I don't think so. At least not in my opinion. Okay. So anyway, with that all being said, let's go to the documents, because he said that he did not threaten anyone. Okay. Said that he didn't threaten anyone. Hold on. Here it is right here. Let's go to this article first. Young Thug denies making threats amid his probation row. So lawyers for the prosecution have filed a motion to revoke the probation of rapper real name Jeffrey Williams, who was released from jail in October of last year. They have accused the Grammy winner of having engaged in conduct that threatens the safety of witnesses and prosecutors, compromising ongoing legal proceedings, and warrants immediate revocation of probation. Now, Williams took to X following news of the motion, writing that, I don't make threats to people. I'm a good person. I would never condone anyone threatening anyone or participating in threatening anyone. I'm all about peace and love. Now, the rapper spent more than 2 years behind bars after he was arrested and charged in the YSL gang case. He secured his release after pleading no contest to a racketeering and gang charges, as well as guilty to drug, gun, and lesser gang charges. Now, Williams was sentenced to time served, 15 years of probation, and a backloaded consecutive sentence of 20 years that will go into effect if he violates the terms of his probation. He's scheduled to co-headline Summer Smash Festival with Don Toliver X, Yeats, and Future in June, which will be his first performance since being released. So somebody said something, because I saw the initial report. We're just going to get into the documents because I can't remember exactly what they said he did, or they're saying that he threatened somebody. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, he just, agreed with something somebody said or something like that. But let's get into these documents, okay? Because I find it all very interesting. And now she's also going after Lil Baby, and we're going to talk about that too. Okay, so lights up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Here we go. Okay, so let me just put my overlay on here. All right, so now this was filed on yesterday. Okay, the state of Georgia versus Jeffrey Williams defendant. State's motion to revoke probation. Comes now the state of Georgia by and through the undersigned counsel and moves this honorable court to immediately revoke the probation of defendant Jeffrey Williams. The defendant has demonstrated a blatant disregard for the law, the safety of witnesses, and the integrity of judicial proceedings. The state submits that the defendant's continued presence in the community under probationary supervision presents a clear and present danger to public safety and undermines the rule of law. Now, they go into the background. On October 31st of 2024, the defendant Jeffrey Williams was sentenced to probation with conditions that include no contact with the victim and the victim's family. The defendant pled guilty, and the conditions of probation were imposed pursuant to Statute 42-8-35, which authorizes court to establish and enforce conditions necessary to protect the public and uphold the administration of justice. Since sentencing, the defendant has engaged in conduct that directly threatens the safety of witnesses and prosecutors, compromises ongoing legal proceedings, and warrants immediate revocation of probation. Escalating threats and witness intimidation. Investigator Marissa Viverito is currently testifying in a multi-defendant gang murder preliminary hearing, which remains ongoing and is set to reconvene on Monday, April the 7th of 2025. Now, during this hearing, the court explicitly ordered that the witness not be shown on television while testifying. Despite this order, a known blogger deliberately violated the court's directive by posting on social media. She doesn't want to be shown on screen. Well, here she is, along with the photograph of investigator Viverito. Okay, so that's what the blogger did. Now I remember. So once the blogger posted the picture of this woman or whatever, and the comments that she had to say, Young Thug said something about how this woman is a big liar. That's what they're mad about. They're upset because he called her a liar, because that's what it was. So on Tuesday, April the 1st of 2025, Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, amplified this act by reposting the image with the caption, "Marissa Viverito is the biggest liar in the DA's office." This post quickly went viral, amassing over 2 million views, with thousands of comments and retweets, many of which included direct threats to investigator Viverito and her family. Well, here's the thing. Just lock up the people who made the threats, okay? Because he cannot control what other people are doing. And here's the thing. Someone posted her picture. He reposted it and called her a liar. I'm sorry. Is that against the law? The last I checked, in his opinion, she's the biggest liar in the DA's office. He can't say that. How come? How come he can't say that she's a liar if that's how he feels? Okay, I want you all to pay attention, all right? And then now they're trying to turn this into, oh, he threatened her. No, he didn't. And then talking about he reposted. Well, when people post things on social media, we often repost things. What's the problem? That's not illegal either. Okay? It was already online. Now, I could see if the judge had asked for her picture not to be released, and he's the one that initially posted it, but that's not what happened here. Okay? They're just so full of BS. They are so full of BS. And it's just starting to seem to me like they're trying to take down all these black men that are rappers. I'm not saying that some of them aren't giving them a reason, but that's what it's looking like. Okay, but let me continue. Direct threats. Okay, this is what they say. As a direct consequence of these social media posts, Viverito's home address and her parents' home address were publicly posted, exposing them to grave danger. Okay, well, who posted it? How are they blaming him for what other people did? Now, they say, see Exhibit A. One post stated, if the hate is really real, then pull up on her mama crib alongside a photograph of her mother's residence. See Exhibit A. Now, hours later, an additional post emerged threatening the assassination of District Attorney Fonnie Willis. See Exhibit B. Now, the escalation from, now here's my thing. If somebody's making these type of threats, you should be going after the people making them. And the thing is, even if they're doing it online, don't we have the ability to get their IP addresses and find out where these people are? This is all crazy. But anyway, I digress. So goes on to say the escalation from targeting a testifying witness to making a direct threat, death threat against the elected district attorney of Fulton County is a grave and unprecedented attack on the justice system. See, now Fonnie's out for blood. Okay, now she's ticked off and she's blaming this. She's taking out her anger on him. Okay, pattern of intimidation and court undermining. Now, this is not an isolated incident. It is part of a calculated campaign of intimidation, harassment, and misinformation designed to undermine the legal process. Social media has been used as a tool to manipulate public perception, spread misinformation, and instill fear. These efforts have also included attempts to exploit the court's perceived stance of disdain towards the state by referring to Your Honor as YSL Whitaker. That's another thing that ticks them off because people online are calling the judge YSL Whitaker. This ongoing manipulation of public perception through social media is intended to obstruct justice, silence witnesses, and threaten those who enforce the law. Legal basis for revocation. Under the statute, a court may revoke a defendant's probation when they engage in new criminal conduct or violations that threaten public safety. The defendant's continued associations with individuals actively involved in witness intimidation, threats of violence, and obstruction of justice constitutes a fear or a clear violation of probation conditions. These actions mirror the established tactics of criminal organizations as defined under the statute, which are designed to instill fear, silence witnesses, and interfere with judicial proceedings. As a direct consequence of these actions, law enforcement resources have been required to provide security in response to the escalating threats and intimidation. This is all a load of BS as far as I'm concerned. Now, Georgia courts have consistently upheld the revocation of probation for conduct that endangers witnesses, obstructs justice, or threatens public officials. Failure to act decisively will only encourage further attempts to threaten, harass, and intimidate those involved in the case. Now, the state asserts that not addressing this matter directly with the defendant will fail to serve as an adequate deterrent, given the gravity and escalating nature of these threats. Furthermore, as both the defendant and this court acknowledged during his plea and sentencing, the defendant wields significant influence over people worldwide, amplifying the potential impact of his actions. And they did tell him that when he was in court. I remember the judge telling him how influential he was and how he should basically use the influence for good things rather than bad and getting into mess. Okay, need for revocation. The integrity of this court and the safety of those involved in this prosecution are at stake. The defendant's probation should be immediately revoked to prevent further harm, ensure compliance with the law, and send a clear message that witness intimidation and threats against public officials will not be tolerated. The state urges this court to take swift and decisive action by revoking the defendant's probation and remanding them into custody without delay. Now, conclusion. Wherefore, the state of Georgia respectfully requests that this court schedule a hearing to address immediately, revoke or modify the defendant's probation as it deems appropriate. Order the defendant to reimburse the costs incurred by law enforcement for the additional protective measures necessitated by their actions and impose any further sanctions necessary to safeguard the witness, prosecutors, and the integrity of the judicial system. Are y'all hearing this? Fonnie T. Willis, okay? That's who signed it. I'm sorry, but she really needs to sit down somewhere. She really does. Now, here's Exhibit A. Let's see what they have here. Okay, this is the social media post. Viverito's testimony footage, the footage everyone's been waiting for. Okay, so they actually posted her testimony footage. Yeah, the wiretaps and testimony. Okay, so that's what she posted. And then this is where Thug reposted it saying, biggest liar in the DA office. And then it says, dumbass used to live at altitude and got my Airbnb shut down. if the hate is really real, then pull up on her mama crib. And then here's the picture. You can see where they posted a picture of her mother's house along with the cost of it. And then exhibit B. Okay, this says, I will personally make sure Fonnie Willis is assassinated. Wow. How stupid could somebody be? Because they're definitely going to jail for that. How dumb could you be? Do you all see this? They literally said they're going to personally make sure that she is taken up out of here. Y'all see that? Some people are just so stupid. It's amazing to me. It's literally amazing. Okay? Literally amazing. So, yeah, they're definitely going to jail for that. At least they should be, rather than Thugger. Now, let me see if I can get this last page. Why is this page not pulling up? Hold on, you all. I'm trying to see if I can get this last page up so I can see what's on here. Okay, there it goes. Okay, now this says, but I understand, rap lyrics. I understand how it could be twisted. I understand what it could do to the mind of people. I understand all that. And I promise you, I am 100% changing that. It's just, I am older, I'm grown now, and it's just like, I am smarter. I'm more things. It's more things to rap about. Like I have experienced a lot of good things. I experienced more bad things, but I experienced a lot of good things too. And anyway, I can go forever. Okay, so clearly this is Thug talking. Now, and this is the court's response. Well, I appreciate that. And I appreciate that you do realize how much of an impact that you have on people. I mean, it's past your neighborhood. It's worldwide, especially young people. And having come up from where you came from and living in and around that, that gangs are damaging to our community. And it may be that a whole lot of rap music and rap industry is. I mean, honestly, it sounds like a modern day version of kind of WWE wrestling that used to be on television, where people would just get up and posture and act like they hated each other. And it may be that. That's a lot of what is going on in the music industry with rap. Okay, so saying basically, but even if that is the case, you just can't be doing and saying certain things. Now, my thing is, do you all think that he was wrong? Do you all think that he was wrong? Like, I really want to know. Do you all think that he was wrong for reposting the picture, okay, and then saying that this lady is the biggest liar in the DA's office? Anyone see anything wrong with that? Because I really just don't. I really just don't, even though I don't think I would have done that or said that, because I would have known that they're watching. Okay, they're always watching, especially on social media, and especially when you're on probation and already have been sent to jail, okay, for gang activity, amongst other things. So he definitely shouldn't have said that, but nonetheless, I think they're reaching. I think they just want to put him back in prison. Okay, they just want to put him in prison, lock him up. And like I said, I think that Fonnie's coming for a bunch of these rappers. And that's my opinion, because here's the thing. DJ Academics, if you all remember, some time ago, he was talking about Fonnie Willis and saying that she's coming after some people. Okay, after Young Thug, it was going to be 2 more people. That's what he said. Okay, if memory serves me correct. So let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Okay, so now, as I said, it looks like Lil Baby is about to be hit with a RICO. Now, here's what they report. Lil Baby might be starring at his own RICO case. All right. So Lil Baby has a problem. As soon as Young Thug was off the hook, so to speak, I knew something was going to happen next. And that next was the potential arrest of Lil Baby on RICO charges. Man, how did we get here? The year started off so well. Did it? I don't think so, because the year started off with Trump in office. Please pay attention. Now these RICO rumors are not new, at least in the streets, but they are certainly getting loud right now. Every TikTok goofball is making a video and pontificating pontificating on their so-called platforms. It's almost like people want him to be arrested, but there's a lot of smoke right now around his situation. He dropped a new album, and I think maybe that was supposed to provide cover. I don't know, but it's not working. Most recently, and very much so allegedly, there was audio released where Lil Baby apparently put money on somebody's head. Please don't tell me he did that. Have you all heard about that? Because I've heard it too. I've absolutely heard it. He would have to be just insane to do that. Okay, he would have to be insane. I mean, he knows what happened to Dirk. He knows what happened to Dirk. Why would he even do it? Okay, I just have questions. So anyway, goes on to say, a report in the Atlanta Objective that was published just a few days ago said that Lil Baby is almost guaranteed to be charged with RICO, targeting two gangs there in Atlanta. There's also allegedly a video of Lil Baby putting in his own work with a Draco, and I don't mean the rapper. Oh, okay, wow. So according to a deep dive by veteran reporter George Chidey, things are heating up, and it might soon be raining indictments on Lil Baby and his affiliates, okay, from OMF, and that means Only My Family, and the notorious 4PF, which is Four Pockets Full. Sean Hoover, the top guy at Georgia Public Defender's gang-focused legal squad, didn't mince words about the situation. How Hoover openly acknowledged they're actively preparing for serious racketeering charges. Lil Baby could be famous for all the wrong reasons. How do they get themselves in this mess? Like, just make your money the right way and leave everything else alone. Now, the gruesome murder of Keontae Davis last Friday, March the 28th, brought all of this to a head. Okay, Davis was neck deep in the legal drama surrounding the 2022 murder of Jaquavius Wilson, who was 26, another tragic death in the deadly feud between OMF and 4PF. This is deeper than rap, people. Please pay attention. Now, people tell me Wilson was set to testify before pleading guilty to lesser charges, avoiding harsher penalties. But flipping has consequences, you see. Authorities say Wilson had targets on his back from both street tribes. Now, OMF wanted revenge, and 4PF wanted to shut him up. Nathan, 4PF Nate Benford, recently landed a 20-year sentence after a guilty plea. Lil Baby has done his darnest to distance himself from the mess. He even shut down 4PF as a label back in 2023 by calling it Glass Window Entertainment. Okay, but calling it Glass Window Entertainment won't do it when the feds are involved. So he tried changing the name. That's definitely not going to work. Okay, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation hasn't forgotten what they believe are real gang affiliations. They say there's a link between 4PF and the Crips. You know, just being honest, there likely is. Okay, there likely is. Now, because why? Hold on. Yeah, there, like I was saying, there likely is, because why is Lil Baby even hanging out with them? Lil Baby hasn't said much, but he did say something. When pressed by a fan on Instagram about the potential RICO charges, he reportedly said, "Only God can judge me." Oddly, he had a song called Dumb, Dumb, and Dumber. You can't make this up. Okay? This is about to get thick, they say. So, you know, let's not forget what happened. Now, here's the thing. The reason they really started looking into Lil Baby is because of that incident with those two teenagers. Remember the two 13-year-olds that lost their lives? If you all remember that, I reported that a couple of weeks ago. Okay, so let's go. All got started. Okay. That's how this all got started. Those teenagers were killed, and Fonnie wants recompense. I'm back. A 13-year-old for just 27 minutes, they say, before gang violence ultimately took his life. You know, it's really sad to hear stuff like this. This don't even make any sense. Now, they say following the music video shooting, multiple shootings and homicides took place that seemed to be retaliatory. Okay, the teen's murders were the result of an unnamed Lil Baby rival calling in the hit from prison, saying, you know who you are. This team will work relentlessly to hold you and the persons that you are affiliated with responsible. Okay, this is what the police told them, and they were referring to the rapper Lil Baby. Okay, so, you know, my condolences to the family, friends, and loved ones. But these people out here acting like whole thugs, and these are the culprits right here. Okay, and they've been arrested. And now, mind you, the police say that supposedly 5 of these thugs were already in jail. Okay. Yeah, no lies there. They absolutely were already in jail. Okay, please pay attention. And then, like I said, DJ Academics had talked about this, saying that there was going to be 2 more rappers. I'm going to pull up the video. Now, this isn't my video. I borrowed it, so I'm going to put an overlay on here. Okay, I'm going to put an overlay on here just to avoid any copyright issues. Okay, here we go.
Tap putting money on people's heads. Similar to Lil Durk's M for Hire, it would be announced, gang investigator Marissa plays a wiretap in court alleging that Atlanta rapper Lil Baby put money on people's head. In the video, Marissa says Dominique Jones put money on people's head, which is Lil Baby's real name.
Like, come on, bro, you know what's gonna go on. Like, how the hell you can't, you know what I'm saying? They ain't even like that, man. They got tickets on a lot of these folks, I'm telling you.
We just heard somebody say these folks got tickets on these people. We know what's going on. First of all, who was that said that about the tickets?
Unk, the unidentified male that was being referred to as Unk.
And he's speaking with Mr. Sanders.
Correct.
And what, in your experience, do you know what tickets are?
A price on somebody's head.
What do you mean by, what do you mean on somebody's head? What is that?
Like a bounty.
Okay. To have them arrested?
Harm.
And who were they referring to in that portion of the call?
They were saying that they had heard that Dominique Jones had tickets on a lot of people's heads.
Dominique Jones wanted to have people harmed.
Correct.
All right, moving on.
This would end up getting the attention of Young Thug, who would react, "This is the biggest liar in the DA office," exposing what Marissa looks like while calling her a liar. But did you know Lil Baby was just named in a RICO document? This has angered Young Thug, as it would be announced. The head of the Georgia PD Council's gang unit says his office is preparing to defend against a potential 4PF RICO, with the official paperwork name-dropping Lil Baby. But what's even scarier is at the court hearing today, the police mentioned the evidence they had, being the wiretap video shared earlier, as well as several documents of text messages and Instagram messages of Lil Baby allegedly placing money on their ops' heads. This is only the beginning, as this was also shared on the news.
Atlanta police are blaming a local rapper's music video for the deaths of 2 teen-year-olds, and a $50,000 reward is being offered for more information. So far, 7 people have already been arrested.
Between the bullets, it was nothing but bullets, pop, 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 pop. At least 25 shots fired. Yeah, it was terrible. It was just a concert. I was waiting for Lil Baby to come buy my tacos up.
Rappers would also react, sharing, first Young Thug, now Lil Baby, being played by that Atlanta DA. Y'all Atlanta rappers, be careful out there, as the news would reveal an important update that says Lil Baby has been taken into county jail for questioning on the passing of Jacody Davis and Lamont Freeman. Police question why he closed Fort PF after the crime took place, as even when Lil Baby was asked on why he closed Fort PF, it seemed very odd. It would be announced, Lil Baby reveals he ended his record label 4PF to avoid it being labeled as a street team, seemingly trying to dodge the entire RICO case that was coming his way.
First 4 pockets full had to come to an end. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. When you say of course, I mean, why you say of course?
Because it's all shit that be going on. And I had to start learning that, like, other people's actions I could be held accountable for.
Right.
I ain't know all that at first. You know what I'm saying? I never would have went that route, but I ain't know. You know what I'm saying? Now that I know, I'll be a fool to just keep the same thing going. They trying to make something out of something that it ain't. Right. Like, if I got any kind of control of, hey, we're going to switch that whole thing up It ain't even just about the police. No, it's just period. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never was supposed to make my label something that I talk about.
With Lil Baby abruptly ending 4PF, the Atlanta DA announcing the 4PF RICO trial, this all answers the question on why the Atlanta police were trying to pin 2 passings onto Lil Durk. It's an easy way of arresting him, as even the Atlanta Police Department said in quote, "This team will work relentlessly to hold you accountable," when referring to the 2 people that passed away.
The investigation aspect of this, Lamont Freeman was allowed to be a 13-year-old for 27 minutes.
This tweet that
Oh no. Help me.
that says, and I quote, "The Atlanta DA was not successful getting Young Thug. Watch, she will now target Lil Baby and use him as an example for the rest of the rappers supplying gangs with fame, money, and items for street crimes. Be ready." Because the feds announcing this crime having Lil Baby involved answers one of the biggest questions the rap industry had, which is why did Lil Baby close 4PF? Right after Lil Baby's Wham album release, it was shared, Lil Baby's new album Wham was a rush release due to a legal battle coming his way. Him closing 4PF was the first sign to this, as the feds already warned the public about Lil Baby's involvement in Atlanta crimes on the news over a year ago.
An in-depth investigation. Recent months, you've had 2 high-profile racketeering cases. There are going to be more.
Over the next 60 days, you'll see 2 more.
But the way how all of this connects together is extremely disturbing. Academics even revealed the Atlanta DA Fannie Willis was placing a trap on Atlanta rappers, as it was confirmed when only 1 week later it was shared, Lil Baby was arrested Monday night for carrying a concealed firearm without a permit. He was then sent to the Clark County Detention Center, where he was being held on a $5,000 bail.
I need 20 bands, call his number for me. Hey, security. The black guy, call his number for me. Locking me up for a term, but I got license. Security, I need 200 bands a year. I swear to God, security. Security, I need 200 bands a year. You don't make 200 bands here. Hey, lady, my check leave at 19. Nah, check me good. I gotta my nuts. Check me good. You on the count? I gotta my nuts. Check me good. I gotta. All right, y'all let me that costume. I said, hey, y'all.
But what's scarier is only 8 months ago, academics revealed on stream while showing the evidence file that 4PF was on the same RICO document that YSL was on.
I've heard 2 of them. Like, I've heard the 2 of them. They're like, yo, these are going first, then these are going first. I've heard the names. And I don't know if I should say it. Again, I got nothing to do with no investigation for nothing.
Now, my question is, why is academics saying that he doesn't have anything to do with an investigation? And how does he know this? Because Fonnie absolutely said 2 more, okay, after Young Thug. How does academics know this? Is he working with the police? I have questions.
Whatever. But these are top rappers. Well, one's a top rapper. The other one, matter of fact, I'll do the segment without saying the name. I'll just say this. I believe you know who the obvious name is. They're in Atlanta. They go by 3 letters. They've been popping. One of the top, I would say, 3 rappers in the game.
But now in present day, with the YSL case being over, academics was then finally able to reveal everything, as Lil Baby's recent arrests seem almost like a warning for a massive RICO charge coming his way.
I'm going to tell you some things that you're going to have to take my word or don't believe it. It's fine. I don't care either or. When Fonnie Willis started targeting YSL, Fonnie Willis had a bunch of people to target. She wanted Thug. She got YFN. So she got YSL, YFN. Eventually, they were going to get to 4PF. That's one of the reasons they changed their names, by the way. Except, from what I heard, the feds told them, it's okay. We got it. So the feds told him, like, it's okay if you dismiss the charge. So they didn't go that hard with trying to get Durk, especially after Von died. They dropped that case. They dropped it, but the feds has realized we gonna get Durk eventually. You doing the math? You see why Lil Baby is moving the way he been? Because Lil Baby hasn't been on Fed watch. He's been on county state watch.
But you may be wondering how this all began. It actually started 2 weeks into the YSL RICO trial, where their best friend Gunna snitched out of the case early.
And you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes converted.
Yes, ma'am.
You were present when law enforcement officers stopped the vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams, where an hydrant and a firearm were recovered. These items did not belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Because only 2 weeks after Gunna was out of jail, Lil Baby was weirdly arrested for an illegal window tint, with the official footage being released online.
Huh? Man, you know why I pull you open up these windows? They tinted. You can't see nothing out.
I'm a celebrity, man. Nobody can't see me. Give me my ticket. Let me ride.
I don't know what celebrity you are.
It don't matter. Give me my ticket. Let me ride. I can't have nobody seeing me right here. I'm gonna let my window up.
Oh yeah, you good, but you can't have that tinted window, man.
All right, just give me the ticket. Have a good day, man.
Now, who are you? You say you
My name Lil Baby.
Okay, I just need you to sign right here, okay?
You got a pen? 827. You don't be want to have you gotta have tickets in that level. You folk crazy. I take a ticket, then somebody follow me home.
Put a 32.
Huh?
You can put a 32. If you got a medical exception, you can get the 10.
At the end of the footage, Lil Baby was only given a ticket and he was allowed to go on his way. However, online lawyers said when a police officer gives a ticket to someone on the street, it takes about 5 minutes to have it placed into the federal system. Once Lil Baby's name was then placed into the system, it's almost like his name was flagged, as Lil Baby would then be pulled over by another officer located on the exact same street he was driving on. He was then arrested and then placed into the county jail. He even had to fly his lawyer out on a private jet, trying to get bailed out that night.
I dare you to let me build you a completely free e-commerce store.
As with all of the recent arrests, Lil Baby feels like he's being targeted, likely by a former best friend, which is why when Young Thug was released from jail, he went right after Gunna. Thug tweeted, "Wham, let's drop one on these rats," with the name Wham referring to Lil Baby, who's been firm on dissing Gunna for snitching out of the YSL trial early. As Lil Baby responded to Young Thug on Instagram saying, "We should." But the following day, Thug would release a tweet as well as an Instagram video. The first tweet read, "Gunna, stop acting like we're friends on the internet. I don't know you." This got the attention of Gunna and his brother. As Gunna's brother would say, "Trust and believe the feeling is mutual." But later on that night, Thug linked up with T.I., hosting an Instagram story where he clearly says that he's home and that he did it the right way, sneak dissing Gunna.
Hey, man, what you got to tell these people?
Back. Back.
You feel me?
You did.
Hey, man, ain't no cap in it.
No cap in my right.
You feel what I'm saying?
The right way.
It's time.
Right way, bro.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right way.
Yeah, that way.
Yeah.
And go tell that.
However, there's a serious issue with the sneak dissing that he's doing to Gunna. As pointed out by DJ Academics, the feds are always one step ahead. They predicted all of this happening, which is why they even gave Thug a plea deal out of prison. It would be announced. Academics speaks on Young Thug getting released and says the stipulations are a setup for the court to put Young Thug back into jail, explaining how it's all a setup for Thug to eventually fail, then go to prison for 20 years. But they also knew Lil Baby would take Young Thug's side. Beefing with Gunna alongside Thug, the Atlanta DA would then get Lil Baby and Young Thug at the exact same time.
I know some of his fans think he beat the case. He definitely didn't beat the case. Beat the case means you got no stipulations. The Young Thug thing is a win, but it's also a huge setup. If you gonna tell me that they're gonna monitor him on a probationary basis for 15 years, can't be in Atlanta, can't communicate with co-defendants or members, he can't rap about, he can't promote any music that has to do with what they believe is activity. But he's always going to talk about him and is doing his thing. They might consider that activity. He might be like, yo, me It's like, yo, we going to the park getting lit. We going to the club getting lit. They might be like, oh no, you told me to get. So, we celebrating right now because I think we could all see, if you follow that trial at all, whether you're a fan of Thug or not, you can see the pain. You can see this was going through it. Like, he gained a lot of weight. Everybody knows Thug was not that weight. So we happy he got out, but we definitely got to be very cognizant of how it's going to play out.
Okay, so Kanye West has released
with that all being said, at the end of the day, DJ Academics knows a whole lot. Okay, he knows a whole lot of information. Now, Greta says DJ Academics is doing a lot of talking and seems to know a bit too much not to be in on this trick and trap. That's exactly what I'm saying, beloved. He seems to have a whole lot of information. How did he know? He literally said what Fonnie Willis said. When she said there's two after this, there's two coming within the next 60 days. Yeah, he said that. There's two of them. How did he know that? Okay, and how did he know that they were setting a trap for Young Thug so they could get both he and Lil Baby? How did he know that? Okay, how did he know that? Is he a psychic medium or something? Okay, has he been talking to Sloan Bella perhaps? Okay, Panther Strike said he knows so much and talks too much. Yes, he does. He's really giving himself away. I absolutely believe that he's a whole agent. Okay, that's exactly what I believe because I find it all so interesting. Okay, Nicole said Kanye better stay away from Act. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and Kanye better stay over there in Japan before he finds himself in one of those hospitals, okay, where they fry your brain. Okay, please pay attention. Okay, now with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast, but listen. I'm going to be on the spiritual channel later for those of you who follow the spiritual channel. And also, I'm about to upload a couple of videos. One of them is about Drake and his lawsuit with UMG. And then the other one is about this black woman. It was also crazy. This cop literally just snatched her out of the car, tasered her, and in front of kids and all of that. And it really was just because she was parked in he initially rolled up on her because she was parked in the school parking lot. So anyway, I'm going to post those. All right, so I will see you all on the spiritual channel. I may come back live on here. I don't know. But anyway, I hope you all enjoy the rest of this day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your life.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me?